First thing I want to speak about, to discuss, is when is the ideal time to light Ner Hanukkah? You see a sign everywhere with a different zman. You go down the street, everyone's lighting with a different zman. What's going on? Why some people light it early, some people light it later? Have married before it, have married afterwards. If let's say someone's home, he has all the time in the world, what's the ideal time to light? Now, if someone is not going to be around in the ideal time to light, let's say someone has a chasana, someone which he has to leave early, or let's say someone goes to his parents in Toronto for Shabbos Hanukkah, he's driving back, he plans on leaving 9 o'clock in the morning to make it back ideally on time, but until his wife and his kids get into the car, the 9 o'clock turns into 2 o'clock, and he doesn't know how many pit stops he's going to have to make on the way, and which kid's going to be screaming, and he may get back, 10, 11 o'clock at night, he may get back 4 in the morning. Till when could someone light Ner Hanukkah? Could you light it till the next morning? Maybe you could light it even before Shabbos? Or is there a time limit when you have to stop? When it's too late to light? Next thing is, what about if someone is going to be away the entire night? He's traveling, and he's going to be traveling from before the time to light the entire night. If someone is flying, say he's flying from here to Eretz Yisrael, or the opposite direction for sure, where he's not going to be in a place where he's not going to be home in a place, a hotel or anything where he can light. What should he do? If someone's in the hospital where they don't allow lighting, is there any eitzah? What's the best eitzah to do about it? Another shaila is, we know by Megillah, by other mitzvahs, by shofar, by lulav, that it's usher to, once it comes the time of the mitzvah, you're not allowed to eat, you're not allowed to work, you're not supposed to be learning. So what's the story with Ner Hanukkah? Let's say someone goes to a chasana, or someone's by a Hanukkah party, and he's not going to be lighting over there, he's not going to be lighting until he gets home. Let's say someone's working, and work goes until 9 to 5. So could he work then? Or if someone's working even for himself and he takes a job, let's say he's a plumber, electrician, could he start working after the Zman, Adlaka? Or does he have to stop, go back, light, and then continue working? Then he can continue working. Same thing if a lady's waiting for her husband to come home. He doesn't come home from work till 7, 8 o'clock at night. So could she eat before that? Could she serve the family supper? So let's start first with the basics of when is the time to light. Then we'll see if someone doesn't get the ideal time, what the halacha is going to be. So the first thing we have to know is that when is halachically, what's the zmanim of the night? What's the zman of the evening of the night? So everyone's familiar with shkia. Shkia means when the sun goes down. When the sun dips behind the horizon, sunset, that's shkia. Next zman is Tzeisak Echavim. Night halachically starts by Tzeisak Echavim. Tzeisak Echavim literally means when the stars come out. When that is a big shaila. The more famous zman is, everyone knows of Rabbeinu Tam, is 72. 72 minutes after Shkia is the zman when Hasidim usually go with this. And here in Lakewood, at least in Chumrah they go with it. At 72 minutes after Shkia is definitely night. There is also Shitas HaGa'inim, which many people are machmer for, that Shkia is 24 minutes after Shkia. Some with 18 and 24 minutes after Shkia. There are many zmanim in between. Rav Moshe says that in America, the shear of in the winter, the Rabbeinu Tam, the sheet of Rabbeinu Tam, if you go with America, where America is on the map, it will come out to around 40 to 45 minutes in the winter. In summer says 50 minutes. He says that's the Ikar sheet according to Rabbeinu Tam. It goes with how dark it gets. So in Eretz Yisrael, to America, to France, whatever the cheshbonos are, Rav Moshe says that the shear would be around 40 to 45 minutes in the winter. That would be Tzeisak Echavim. According to Rabbeinu Tam, that says Tzeisak Echavim is, let's say, 72 minutes after Shkia, his Shkia is much later also. He says Shkia is around 12 and a half minutes before that, around 58 minutes after Shkia would be 14 and a half minutes after, would be around 58 minutes after Shkia would be Rabbeinu Tam's Shkia. Now, with that background, that there are kama zmanim we're mentioning be'ikr, we're saying be'ikr 4 zmanim really. Number 1 is shkia. Number 2, there's around 24 minutes after shkia, which is the earliest share of Tzvi Chavim. There's a later share of Tzvi Chavim, which is 72 minutes after shkia, and there's a later share of shkia, which is 58 minutes. Now let's try to take it down to Hilchas Chanukah. The Gemara says in Shabbos Chafal Beis, when is the mitzvah Chanukah? Mitzvasa, the mitzvah to light Ner Chanukah is Mishatishka Achama, from when the sun sets, Ad Shetichla Regel Menashuk, till people stop walking around in the marketplace. And the Gemara says later, what does it mean people stop walking around the marketplace? Amar Rabbi Yechnan, Adikali Rigla to Tarmudai. There was a people who are called Tarmudai. They used to pick twigs and wood and sell it in the market. After people went home from work, they came home, they wanted to prepare supper. The wife said, hey, 1 second, there's not enough wood. Go out to the market and get some more. So these people would stay extra late in the market. People would come to them to buy wood. So even though it was night already, the market will go on for another little while after it got dark, and that's when the time to light ners is from Tishka Chama until this time when the people stop buying the wood in the market. The Gemara explains what does it mean. This is the time of Ner Chanukah. The Gemara is pshat. First pshat, the Gemara says the Eloi Abdik Matak. That means, let's say we'll start with Shkia and we'll give it, let's say, half hour till the marketplace empties. So if you didn't light yet by Shkia, light this time, but after this time it's too late, you can't light anymore. The Gemara says another pshat, Inami L'Shira, no, you can really light the whole night. But this amount of time, the time it takes from when the sun sets till the market closes, is just the time that Chazal said that's how long you have to put in oil. So you have to put in oil, half hour's worth of oil. Taisa says that the Gemara doesn't say which pshat is the main pshat. So it will come out of Taisus. Let's say you missed the first man. Let's say you're holding now 2 hours after sunset. So you're not lighting on time. So Taisus says, well, you should still light because maybe we'll go with the second shot in the Gemara. The second shot in the Gemara is that you can light whenever you want, as long as you just have to put in a half hour's worth of oil. Taisus says, maybe we'll go with the second shot, so light. But you said you can't make a bracha because maybe you have to light dafka on time. That's what the first thing Taisus says. Afterwards, Taisa says that this is all right if you live in Eretz Yisrael, where people light outside, but if you live in Chutz La'aretz, the Gemara says that when there's a Shas HaSakana, and this became the minhag in Chutz La'aretz, that we light inside. If you light inside the house, who are you making the main Persum Nisa for? Who are you lighting for? You're lighting for the people in your house. The Gemara says when Shas HaSakana, they don't light by the window. If they lit by the window, they would get caught. They would light in their house. The same thing if someone lives in the basement apartment and there's no windows to outside, we still light, we make a bracha. If someone lives on the 45th floor, right? So even if you light by the window, it's going to be much too high for the people in Shusarabim to see it. It's going to be more than 20 amas.
On the building across the street.
If there's a building across the street, and if there's no building across the street, so then he's lighting really for the people in his house. So since our main lighting is for people in the house, Taisa says that you can make a bracha and you can light late at night. And in Shulchan Aruch it's brought down the halacha that the ikar is you shall light on time. Especially that we light, generally we have the option we light by a window for people in Shusarabim. We try to light ideally on time in the ikar's man, which we'll discuss in a second when exactly that is. If we're late, if it's not an option to light in the ideal man, then we light with a bracha until later at night. But if it hits that late that no one's around, let's say someone lives by himself, he comes back 2 o'clock in the morning, there's not a soul in the streets, or depending on where you live, you come back 4 o'clock in the morning, so then we're going to have a problem with lighting because then even if the Persum Nisa is for the people in the house, so there is no people around, not in the house, not in the street, so then we're going to have to see what's going to be the story with if you can light with a bracha or not. Now, the Gemara says this ideal man to light is from when the sun goes down. What does that mean? So the Vilna Gaon says that means literally Shkia. The ideal time to light is Shkia, and according to the first pshat in the Gemara, you have a half hour from Shkia to light. In Shulchan Aruch, the Mechaber paskins that it means from Tzesakei Chavam, from when the stars come out, which would mean If you go Rabbeinu Tam 72, otherwise maybe 25 minutes after Shkia would be the ideal time to light. There are shittas in between that hold that's Rabbeinu Tam Shkia, but basically the shittas run from the beginning of Shkia until 72 minutes, and if you hold it by 72 minutes, you have a half hour from 72 minutes. That's the time frame to light. Halacha L'maisa, the minhag here in Lakewood is Rav Aaron held this, Rav Moshe held also similarly, that we try to catch as many shittas as we could. So, once Shkia starts, the salt starts falling through the glass, that if you're after a half hour after Shkia, you lost the first shita. So we try to light within a half hour of Shkia, but we light as late as possible after that. The reason for that is, let's say we say this man is Rabbeinu Tam, 72 minutes after Shkia. Let's say we'll go, Rav Moshe said that's 45 minutes after Shkia. This that you have to light on time, the place can say if you light within 15 minutes, 25 minutes of the time, that's also considered lighting on time. It doesn't have to be sharp on the minute. Let's say this man would be Shkia. You can light a couple of minutes before Shkia and you're also Yaitz. Zok Rav Aaron. So this is not the sheet of plot. This is you can light lechatchila within a couple of minutes. Mishnah Berurah says 15, maybe 25. It doesn't have to be sharp.
You can make a bracha before Shkia?
You can make a bracha even before Shkia. Well, we'll get the plot, but this is not plot. This is not the sheet of plot. As long as you're lighting within the erech, the time of the Zman Hadlaka, you're good. So, Dr. Baron, if you light 25 minutes after Shkia, you're within 25 minutes of Shkia, so you're for sure Yaitz the sheet of Shkia. The sheet that holds, say, Chavins 25 minutes, you're also Yaitz.
Is it b'diavad though?
You're also Yaitz. And the sheetas that hold that it's even 50 minutes after Shkia, or 58 minutes after Shkia, you're also not too far from them. So Mamela, you have to write some sheetas lechatchila, some sheetas b'diavad. Rav Moshe says like 10 minutes after Shkia, he has a different cheshbon that you have more sheetas lechatchila. So the basic gang is to light within, in Yerushalayim they light by Shkia, finished. They light, as soon as it's Shkia, they light. But in, over here the minute by most looks for is to light within the half hour of Shkia, but more towards the end of the half hour. Hasidim light by 72 minutes after Shkia, that's the minute by them. And if someone has that minute, it's also you're hopping around the sheetas which hold the lechatchila then. You're also good if you light, if that's a minute to light then. That's ideally, and if it's possible, a person shouldn't try to make it his business to light them. You know, even if it's inconvenient, a person should try to light bismani.
Why is it that today we have such a big tichel regal in our shop? The bunch, let's say, someone lives on the street, let's say lives on Route 9.
Right. So that's a shayla.
Why would it be a zman shkin?
That's a shayla is chazal l'chayveh a zman, or shayla is it's open. The tichel regal l'shuk is each place can be mekayveh.
Right. They'll be telling the machlokes in the Gemara, really? Would that be telling that much?
Like the second shayla in the Gemara, there is no zman, so it's not good. It's the only shayla in the first shita.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there is what to be saying with that.
Even the chachila.
It's nagel dina. This cheshbon. I'm not going to go down Birch Saroy. It's nagel Birch Saroy after a half hour.
Right.
You make on there.
Right.
We're saying on that to make on there, but let's try to go consider over there. Okay. So we have now the basic times. We said when's the ideal time to light. If someone is now what's the halacha if someone is not going to be able to light in the ideal time? The Rama says that la halacha the bisman hazeh the ikar lighting is from the abayis. You can light till you can light as long as there's people around, as long as people in the street for sure. You could light. Now about davening ma'ariv, so generally we have a rule that if you have two mitzvahs, one is tadir, one is the mitzvah that you always do, and one only comes sometimes. You do the one you always do first. So we have the mitzvah of Shema, we have the mitzvah of davening ma'ariv, which should come before Ner Chanukah. Now, if someone davens always every night 9:30, so there's no shayla because he doesn't have two mitzvahs in front of him. He only has now a mitzvah of Ner Chanukah. He never davens ma'ariv now, so then for sure he should light Ner Chanukah first. If someone generally davens ma'ariv bisman, so here would depend. If it's going to cause him to light after the zman, let's say he always davens ma'ariv by 72 minutes after Shkia, by the time he comes and goes, it's going to be a half hour after 72. He has to light beforehand, because then otherwise he's going to miss the main zman of Chanukah. If he, even if someone lights b'fnin, the ikar and halacha is to light bismanai. That's what Shulchan Aruch, the ikar is to light bismanai. The Rama says, yesh omrim that you can light also later, but the ikar mitzvah is to light bismanai. If someone could daven a little bit earlier and still make the zman, so then it would be better to daven Meir first.
Why is it tell you shouldn't tell if it's two different zman? You're lighting the Meir by Shkir, but you don't have Meir by Shkir.
So it depends. If you're lighting by tzeis, you're right. No, you're right. If the mitzvah is by Shkia, could be that came first. You're right. But if you're lighting first by 72, that means you don't let the zman as tzeis. So then you'll have the zman Meir by tzeis. If you daven Meir by Shkia, so then. Right, so then if you're being same then invited the zman going to be the same also. You're right. Okay, now, till when could you light if you get back late? Till what time? So the halacha is that you can light as long as there's people around, because you're lighting the ikar for Psuma Nisav Ne'abayis. If you come back 3 o'clock in the morning, Mishnah Berurah says, if you have anyone who's in your house who's sleeping, wake someone up, that they should see your hadlaka and they'll be pursuing Nisa. If let's say you live by yourself and there's no one around, so Mishnah Berurah says that you can't make a bracha then if you light. If there's no one around, just yourself, you can't make a bracha if you light. Now there's a big problem with this. What's
Even
halacha?
outside, but even outside?
If there's no one around, not outside, not inside, no one's going to see him in the
What's
yard.
that time period?
You want to know in Lakewood? It depends where you live. If you live in a nice, peaceful, quiet, off, out of the way place,
Development, you have to
probably
in
in the 10-30 neighborhood. If you live in a place which is, you live on Route 9, or you live next to Yeshiva, so you probably get yourself another hour and a half. By 2 o'clock in the morning, the place is pretty peaceful.
If you live in Belgium,
If it's not the Shabbos Chanukah, you probably could get on another 2-3 hours till everyone's coming back from wherever they're coming from. But it's, every place is could be
The
mechayim.
person has to physically be there, right? They can't like be FaceTiming or something like that.
No. So now, yes. Now
You guys were lighting the candles.
there is a R in this. If someone lives in the desert, someone lives in the forest, someone lives in a place where there's only goyim, he still lights with a bracha, right? Even though there's no one else to see it. If someone lives by himself, lives by himself. If someone lives by himself in a basement apartment which has no windows to Rosh Hashanah, the halacha is he lights by his table and he makes a bracha. So the Mishnah Berurah brings down Sharatzian, the question of Chaim Moshe. He says he doesn't understand the poskim that say you can't light at 4 o'clock in the morning. He said 4 o'clock in the morning I live in a desert, so why shouldn't I be able to light? Why is it different than if I live in a desert? And the Mishnah Berurah says L'maisa, if someone makes a bracha, ein moichem biyadei. That means if someone's when he tells you the story next morning, you tell that if someone makes the bracha, even at that time, that nafkamina would be if someone has a suffix. Is there people still around? Is there people still around? If someone makes a bracha, he's okay. Now, what's going to be if somebody is going
This person was back in his basement by himself. How late did he light?
So he
Let's say
comes,
Mr. Half hours
the halacha is he can light till the standard Tichla. That means it could be 11, 12 o'clock. Hagam, no one's going to see it.
The normal.
Yes, this is the Chemet Moshe Kasha. How could that be? Now, we know Erev Shabbos that people daven early Shabbos from a time called Plag HaMincha. Plag HaMincha is an hour and a quarter before night, before Shkia. It's Plag HaMincha. It's not an hour and a quarter on the clock, it's an hour and a quarter of Shah Zmanis, which would be in the winter around 55 minutes or so. But it's a certain amount of time before that, we daven Ma'ariv, you make Kiddush, you start Yisud Shabbos. So what's going to be with Ner Chanukah? Could we say Ner Chanukah is a mitzvah d'Rabbanan? You could also start early. Or do you say no, that Lamaisa, it's still very light outside at that time of day, so the candle's you're not gonna see the candle at all, so Chazal said you have to light dafka when it's at least turning night. And Shulchan Aruch brings down the Yeshayimim that you can light already from Plag HaMincha, but the Poskim say you have to put in enough oil to last a half hour after the Zman. So let's say you want to be a machmir, so you have to put in, let's say you're lighting 55 minutes before Shkia, and you have to put in oil to last till a half hour after 72. That would be the ideal if you're lighting then. The Paiskim, Hagam Shulchan Aruch paskins this shita that you can light from Plag HaMincha with a bracha. The Paiskim say don't do it unless you have to. That means if you're leaving your house and you're traveling now for a long time, you're not going to have a place to light tonight. You're flying. Let's say someone's flying to Eretz Yisrael, so you have no choice. Light them. Light by Plag HaMincha. But otherwise, if there's any other option, don't do the Seitza of lighting from Plag HaMincha. If you light from Plag HaMincha, you have to have some Persumei Nisa for someone. Someone's going to have to be there at night. So if you're lighting by a window to the street, then you're good. Because when it comes night, people in the street are going to see it. If you're living in your own private apartment on the 108th floor, and there's no way anyone's going to see it, so then you can't light from Plag HaMincha unless there's going to be someone there if the problem.
In the house.
Someone to see the neighbors. If no one's going to see the neighbors, then you can't light by Plag. A better eitzah, if you have it, than lighting by Plag, or let's say someone's away. If someone's flying, if someone's going to be on the road the entire Zman Hadlaka, if someone's going to be by a party, by somewhere else, if he's not going to have an option of lighting, you can make a shliach to light. You appoint someone, you make a shliach, he should go to your house, and he should light the neighbors.
Who makes the bracha?
Only the shliach makes the bracha.
Make a second bracha?
And he only makes one bracha. He makes the bracha l'hadlik ner. The other brachas you don't have, and the other brachas you really can't make.
But he made himself a bracha, let's say, in his own house, and then he goes to the other guy's house.
He makes another bracha.
Hadlik ner.
L'hadlik ner. Ideally, he should
Shachianu he can make?
Ideally, you should try to do them both at once.
Right.
But if you can't, it's not. If you go right away, it's not considered a hefsek. But if it's not an option, then he should. Then you make a.
What if it's different minhag?
Different zmanim, yeah.
Yeah, he lights an hour.
See, he can light for you. You should make two brachas then. He's gonna be mouth in between. What?
Is it better if he asks him to light Shkia, that's your minhag, and he should make a bracha, or should wait?
You want to know if his minhag is later, could he make a bracha on your minhag? That would be an interesting question. Probably he could. He could probably see even with his minhag if he lived from them. It's not worse than Plag. It's not that much he could be saying to make a bracha on your minhag. That would be very interesting.
Shachianu he can make?
No, he can't make a shachianu for you, and the shalof.
He can make a shachianu?
On his own neighbors, not on your neighbors.
No, the guy that's in the airplane.
No, so the guy in the airport, the shalof the next night. Next night he could. Most places can say he could make a shachianu the next night. Ideally, he should be yetzer with someone else's shachianu if he could the first night. But he's not lighting himself. He should listen to shachianu from someone else.
Well, he's right. Let's see, he sees it.
Now, the halacha is, let's say you're not lighting at all. If you're not lighting at all, it doesn't work out to light. Someone's in the hospital, he has no one to light for him. So if he's not lighting at all, what he should do is he makes a birch saraya. If he looks out the window, he sees someone had lit ner Hanukkah, so he makes a bracha she'asa nisim. And he makes a she'asa nisim. He makes a she'asa nisim. If someone is lighting for you, you can't make the she'asa nisim. Even if you don't hear the person lighting, it's best to try to be yetzer with someone else who's lighting the she'asa nisim. Now, if someone is flying, someone's in the car, someone's in a place where in the hospital they can't light, what about using the electric menorah? So the consensus of most poskim is you cannot be yetzer with an electric menorah. You certainly can't make a bracha on it. They say that even though for Ner Shabbos, most poskim say you could use electric. For Ner Hanukkah, the poskim say you can't. You need a hadlaka. You need to light something, and spinning a bulb is not considered lighting. There are some poskim who say yes. The poskim say that you certainly should not make a bracha, but ideally you should try to get a hold of a flashlight. If let's say you're flying, buy a flashlight and turn on the bulb. Don't make the brachas, turn on the bulb. And this, you have to know that it's only with an incandescent bulb. That's the old-fashioned bulbs, they have the little filament. That's considered to some extent like fire.
Okay, you're talking electric now, you mean to plug in like batteries?
No, batteries, the plug-in will be the same thing.
What's
It's
the
easier
minhag?
to-
There's no matter.
It's easier to get on a
You're
plane.
not going to have a way to plug in your menorah.
Would that put Jerusalem on it?
Yeah, so you can't use LED bulbs. LED bulbs, fluorescent bulbs is definitely not going to be any hadlaka. If you use a bulb that has the filament that gets red hot, then it may be hadlaka. So l'chumra a person should do it, but you can't hold it in your hand. If you hold it in your hand, now any menorah you light, which you hold it in your hand, you're not yetzer. You're gonna have to dafka put it down. I had a friend who was a rebbe in Pittsburgh in a Lubavitcher yeshiva, and the guys over there, the guys kept on japping him. Why don't you put a menorah in your car? Pursue nisa. So he told them, said, for me, I'm not like one from this Mahadran guys. I'm a pashta yid. I'm the one there. I turn on my headlights. That's good enough for me. Lamaisa, that's not really such a good eitzah, because if you do that, first of all, people are going to say you needed to drive. Also, you're not allowed to have hana from it.
It's one. It's one. That's the other. Yes, it's a
So you
sham.
have to know if the other there is gonna, the other one's gonna come from it. This halach, if someone's on a plane, by now probably the bulbs on top are LED anyways. But if someone's in a hospital or a plane and they found an incandescent bulb, if they didn't bring a flashlight along with them, they could turn that on. And they would turn that on l'shem mitzvah, and then they just would not be able to be netted from it for a half hour.
It has to look like water.
The chazal only answered if you're holding it. But yeah, but if you put it on your shulchan in a place where you normally you'd be netted from it, you yaitz. Now, if you're by a chasna, if someone goes to a chasna and is not going to be back on time, the price can say this is a general rule. The rule of where do you light? This could be a relevant shiloh. People who go to their parents and they live in a dorm or something. Where do you light? So ideally, the place to light is the place where you have the strongest fees. The place which is your main place you can light. But if you don't have that option, you can light in any place where you have a kvias. That means, if let's say someone goes to his parents' house, he's going to eat supper there and he's going to come back to the dorm. So even though right now your kvias may be more so in yeshiva, you could light by your parents. You also have a kvias over there. Ad Kedei Kach, that I saw Shlomo Miller says that he holds that Bachram who learn in yeshiva and sleep at home should better light in yeshiva than take off the time to go home to light. Even though they don't live in yeshiva, they just spend most of the waking hours there. That's enough. That if they feel comfortable in yeshiva, like that's their place. I asked one of my kids. He said, I go to yeshiva 7 o'clock in the morning. I come home 10:30 at night. He says, I live in yeshiva. So he said, then Ikra Adin is you can light over there. The minute is nice, does go home. But if so, you would be able to light. Chaim Pinchas Scheinberg, even Eretz Yisrael, didn't let the light go home. He says, you say Machon Ramah that Manazay lights in a bias. He said you can't take off learning for that. You light 7:30 at night, like most working people do. The main advice is that the Ilum does go home to light. But
Someone just goes to his parents on a Hanukkah party. Is that
someone
called
goes to
kvias?
it depends if they're married or not married.
Married.
A married person can, if he goes to, it's not a kvias. It's
What if they sleep over that
the
night?
halacha is like this: if they're not going to be, if they're in the same city, let's say someone's parents live in Lakewood and they live in Lakewood, they have to go home to light, even if they're going to miss, Uncle Chaim's drasha or his recitation of Moshe Tzor. But if someone goes to a Hanukkah party out of the city, they can light where they are. If they're not going to be back on time.
He has an option though, this Shiloh, he has an option to light before the Shkia, after the plot, or light by his in-laws in Muncie, where he's going to sleep over tonight.
So Pashtus, he should light by his in-laws in Muncie. That because especially if he's going to sleep over, so he has the feast there for the night. If he's not going to sleep over, so the shal is going to be like plod. So you could. It's probably better then to make a shliach light in your own house. Not the shmat, but it's probably the best thing to do.
Plot before plot is after plot is better than very late at night, 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock at night is definitely better.
Better, right?
Better.
If he's not sleeping over, why can't he light?
It depends what time he gets back. If he's going to Muncie for Hanukkah party, he may not get back.
He get it back with his wife.
Right, he gets back with his wife. He can light when he comes home. In a Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Right. The person say it's better to light, if you have a shayla to light yourself at, let's say, 9:30 at night, or to light with the shliach on time, the person can say, based on a bi'alacha, that it's better to light yourself later, as long as you have some minister than to light this man with the shliach.
Why?
What?
No, why? Why is not? I would think a shliach is better.
The shayla is if you have the mitzvah b'yis b'shluchai, since you have the Ramat Misaymechan, is other. Shmuel Hamnetz says better light with a shliach by Sir Shlomo Miller, and the Bi'alacha pretty much says that you should better light. Now, so you could. It's ideal to be Yaitz with someone else who's making it the first day, but if not, you can make it. The Tzad Shechion is going also on the date, not just on the Hadlaka, so you could. Now, let me just speak about one more very relevant Nekuda and the old Shilas. If somebody is not lighting on time, we said there's a problem, you can't eat, and you can't do malacha, and you can't even learn, once this man hadlaka comes. So now, what do? You buy a Hanukkah party, you're not going to be home until Bar Chasna, you're not going to be home until much later at night. What do? So like this. If you started before a half hour before the Zman, so you could continue, as long as it's the type of thing which you'll be back on time. If you start, you're not allowed to start eating afterwards. After a half hour before the Zman, you're not allowed to start anything. So what you do is you make a shemer. You appoint someone to remind you. The Problem is, if you're by a chasana, the only people around are going to be people who are also by the chasana. So those people are also don't work as a shamer. So if you have someone at home to remind you, that would be good. If not, set an alarm. If you have the alarm ringing, that will remind you. That's also good. If you have, let's say, the husband comes home at 8 o'clock from work, so since the wife is not the one lighting, the husband is. Or if you appoint a shliach to light for you, then you're allowed to eat because it's not you're going to forget. The person who's supposed to light won't have this problem of forgetting, and then it would be mutter to do these things. One more nakuda: if someone, let's say a bacher is away, goes to a chasna, a bacher is traveling, going on a road trip, and he's not going to be around to light, he can rely on his father's lighting, even if the bacher is in Lakewood and his father's in Denver. He's considered that he lives still in his father's house, and he can rely on his father's lighting. Now, the place can say even more than this. Let's say you have someone who lives in Eretz Yisrael, and he's traveling to. The guy lives in Eretz Yisrael, and he travels to America on Hanukkah. Right now, let's say in America, or he's a half hour away from America, and it's Zman Hadlaka in Eretz Yisrael. And his wife is going to light for him in Eretz Yisrael. Her lady's traveling, the husband's going to light in Eretz Yisrael. Right? So now, in Eretz Yisrael, it's Zman Hadlaka. In America, it's 7 hours earlier. So in Eretz Yisrael, let's say it's 4:30 at night. In America, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. So, do the math, whatever time it is in the morning. It's 7:30 in the morning. It's whatever time. 9:30. So, could the person lighting in Eretz Yisrael, let's say the husband's in Eretz Yisrael, he's lighting, could he be might see the wife? For her, it's not yet Hanukkah. So the Poskim say that he could be mitzi the wife, that him lighting in her main house, since when Hanukkah comes, in her house, and the mirror was lit, that's enough, and the male shall be yetsu with the husband's adlaka, same thing a bacher. Sfardi b'makbid, that only the balabayas lights, not anyone else. What does a Sfardi bacher do if his parents are in America? When comes time for the adlaka in Eretz Yisrael, his parents are still long before Yom Tov. Yeah, the Sfardi Bacher was done in Lakewood, his parents lived in Eretz Yisrael. So most Sfardi Poskim say, Ikar Adin, they can be samech on the parents' hadlaka even if they're in a different time zone, even if it didn't happen yet or it happened a long time ago. Lahachmir, if there'll be some Ashkenaz Bacher lighting, they'll join up with him, they'll give him a pruta, they'll join his ner, and that way they'll be able to be into that also. But Ikar Adin, if someone's up the creek, if someone's in the hospital or whatever it is, Ikar Adin, they can be yaitz that some hadlaka with their parents.